Hey friends and family, thanks for tuning in to tonight's Thursday Night Thought. Tonight's thought comes to you from Denver, Colorado, where I'm just passing through, hence the reason why we're in a hotel room. And I find it very apropos that I'm sharing this message from Denver because this message is all about getting to know yourself and the difference of knowledge versus wisdom. And in Denver, I spent 21 years and I got to know a lot about myself. And now it's time to really apply that wisdom to my life. And so this message is very pertinent. And if you're in a place in your life where you're asking who you are, why you're here, who do you serve, that's the spiritual knowledge that this message is bringing in. So go ahead and close your eyes. And I'm going to read this message to you. And the message is this: there is great spiritual knowledge within you ready to be expressed. An inner reflection, an answer to a question, providing the keys of wisdom, authority, and power, which is your birthright. This is a powerful message. And again, we're talking about spiritual knowledge. We all know many things, right? But I'm talking about spiritual knowledge of who am I, why am I here, who do I serve, what's my purpose? And if you ask yourself, and go to the place of finding that knowledge, you will find that it's an inner reflection of who you are. It's something within you that reflects outwardly into the world as an expression in the world. And it's an answer to a question, providing the keys of wisdom and authority. So there's a story that I'm going to share with you. And as you listen to this story, I want you to think of those questions that you hold within yourself and getting to that knowledge. And I'm going to share with you this process of how we can all do that. So there's a woman sitting in her computer and she's typing out a letter. And the letter comes out, she's reading the letter and she notices an error. So what does she do? She takes her whiteout, she crosses out the error and she's like, okay, I fixed it. Hits print again, letter comes out. What the heck? This letter has the same error. And so she hits print again and she's just confused. She's like, why is my physical reality continuing to show me an error when I fixed this error? So what could she do? She could go out and buy books on how to fix the error. She can hire coaches on how to fix the error. But the truth is, she's never going to fix that error until she goes internally to fix the error, right? And once she makes the internal change, it will print a different physical reality. And the same is true with our own lives. So if something in your life right now is showing up and it is not who you are, it is not a part of who you believe you are on any level or reflecting who you know you are, then it's a great opportunity to do this inner work. But what happens when we go in and ask ourselves these questions? Maybe sometimes we're confused because we don't know the answers. Maybe we don't know how. But really, when we go deep within ourselves, it's an inward journey. It can be very dark because we can start to hear voices show up. Maybe it's voices from our parents. Maybe it's voices from our childhood. Maybe it's voices from past experiences. But it's these inner demons. And it can be very daunting to go to those places of who am I, why am I here, who do I serve, because all of these things will start to come up. And it'll look like an error on the sheet of paper. But we also hold the power to be able to forgive ourselves, to love those voices, to love those parts of ourselves in order to experience the greatness of who we really are, that we hold all that power within us. And I believe my relationship with God. And when I apply that internally, it prints a different reality externally. That's the promise. And that internal reflection becomes a reflection in our outside world and an answer to that question and a key of wisdom, power, and authority. Isn't that amazing? And it was very clear to me that it's providing the keys of, not to, wisdom, power, and authority. It's not a key to something, that it's a key of wisdom, that we hold that within and that we can choose to apply that to our lives, granting us wisdom, authority, and power when we're living from the truth of who we are, this great spiritual knowledge that is within us. So I pray that encourages and inspires you. And I'm going to read this message one more time because I believe the power is in the message. But think about how your life is showing up right now and your physical reality. And is it matching who you are internally? And if you can make those changes internally and get to the truth of who you really are, then how would that influence your physical reality? And the message is this: there is great spiritual knowledge within you ready to be expressed. An inner reflection, an answer to a question, providing the keys of wisdom, authority, and power, which is your birthright. Powerful stuff, right? And one other piece that came in is, they say the analogy is knowledge is knowing that a tomato is a fruit. Wisdom is knowing not to put that fruit in a fruit salad. Meaning once you're aware of that, once you have that awareness and that knowledge, you then apply it to our lives. And that's where I'm at, and that's where I know a lot of us are at in wanting to serve our highest purpose and our highest selves. So thanks again for tuning in, and I look forward to sharing our next Thursday Night Thought together.